Hi everyone, welcome back to the Gypsy Caravan. I'm Shan. How you doing? Today I'm going to show you how to recreate this copper halo eye. So let's jump right in. First thing we're going to do is prime our eyes. I'm using Paintpot from MAC with a 286 duo fiber brush. And as you would normally prime your eye, just make sure you get the product distributed evenly across the lid. Also take that up to the brow. Today's look is quite heavy, so you need the primer. I'm using my Jaclyn Hill x Morphe palette, her original one. The first two shades I'm going in with is Silk Cream and MFEO, keeping to the same 286 brush. I'm going to use this as a transition shade, and basically what that means is we're going to be using these two colors to blend out the rest of the eye look for today. But the first thing we're going to do is put this into our crease. From inner corner to the outer corner, just buff it in windshield wiper motions. You don't need to press too hard, just get some kind of color down in the crease, as this is what's going to hold up the rest of the eye and just give it that really nice warm transition shade. I also forgot to put scotch tape down on my eyes because we are going to make this a sharp wing, so just cut off some scotch tape, put it down on your hand so that it's not too sticky. If you go straight into your eye, you can pull that eyelid area, and your eye is a very delicate area, so we don't want that. So stick it down your hand first and then line it up on your eyes, and now we can carry on. So now going in with the second shade, which is Butter. Same brush again. I'm just going to pick up some product, and we're going to use this in the crease again as well, in the exact same areas as what we used the previous shades, but we are just going to intensify and warm up that area. I want the crease to be lighter than the rest of the halo of the eye, but I still want that really nice warm and toasty shade. As you can see here, it's just added a little bit of definition. The next color we're going to go in with is Buns. I'm swapping out to a denser packing brush. This is a 239. And this is what we're going to use to build that halo shape. So I'm running the edge of this brush along the edge of that tape and almost creating a wing with the eyeshadow. As you can see here, we're just keeping it very tight in that outer corner area. I am then going to swap over to a medium fluffy brush. I think I used a JH33 here from Morphe. And once you're done packing that color in the outer area, we're going to take the lightest touch and the very tip of that blending brush and just soften out the edges so that we have a very soft diffused edge rather than just a harsh packed on edge with the eyeshadow. So just blend it out slightly so that there's still color, but it's very soft and diffused, as you can see here. Just work in small circular motions, and then we're going to do the exact same thing to the inner corner. We are going to pack Buns in that inner corner. We are working in a diagonal shape. You can keep the eye quite rounded and more structured. It just depends on the kind of halo that you want. I find the diagonal shape a little bit more flattering, as it gives the eye a more feline, pulled up, lifted look. So once again, blend out the edges of those eyeshadows so that you have a really nice soft and diffused edge, but you still have intense color in the very inner and very outer corner of the eye. Just work very softly, and then you can go back in with that big fluffy brush just to blend out the rest of the edges. So that's what it should look like. If you want, you can totally stop here, but we are going to intensify and deepen this look. And as I said, you can just blend out the edges with that big fluffy blending brush and just kind of connect everything at the top, keeping the center of the lid clear. So you can connect everything in the crease, just make sure your lid is clean. Next, I'm going to go in with Chip, which is a warm brown shade, but a little bit deeper than Buns. And again, using that 239, we are now going to do the exact same thing, but we're going to keep this in a more precise placement on the lid. So we're still keeping it in that wing shape, but we're not going to take it as far into the lid as we did with Buns. We are keeping it very much only in the outer corner and very tightly packed in the inner corner, because we want a lot of depth and a lot of color in those corners. And then taking that fluffy brush, or the medium fluffy brush rather, we're just going to very lightly tickle the edges of these eyeshadows so that it's a little bit more diffused and a little bit more blended. towards the lid, and then it gets really saturated and deep in the corners. And then again, you can just take that big fluffy blending brush and just blend the crease edges in together so that you have this sort of effect. Then going in with the last shade, we're going in with a black. This is called Abyss. We are switching over to a pencil brush. This is a JH39 if I'm not mistaken. And we are just going to push this into the very, very outer corner and the very, very inner corner. Again, you can stop at chip if you want to, but if you want that really deep and intense, sultry sort of color, a little bit of black does intensify the eye look slightly, which I really enjoy. So again, we're going to keep this super, super tight in the inner and outer corners, and then we'll go in with that medium fluffy blending brush and just soften the edges again. You can go in as much as you want, or you can pull back as much as you want. It all depends on how intense you want your halo. This is pretty much how much intensity I like in my halos. Looking back at it now, I do wish I had come into the lid a tiny bit, but it's up to you how intense you want the center of your lid or how spread out you want your halo eye to be. So just going over the edges again with that medium fluffy brush, and then we're going to go back in with that large fluffy blending brush and just blend out the crease edges again. You want the center of the eye to be clear and a little bit more diffused than the outer and inner corners, as I say. That's the trick to having a really good looking halo eye. A lot of makeup artists will also call this look the piggy in the middle, because essentially you're going to be putting your glitters and accents in the middle, and then the outer corners are your deep, intensified matte eyeshadows. It's also really good to have a super blended out crease, as this is what connects everything together, which is why we keep going in with that big fluffy blending brush. And that's pretty much what your eye should look like at this point. So now moving on, I am going to go in with Feline and just line my waterline. I can't show you because I'm a sensitive little bitch and can't film that on camera, but line your waterline with the black eyeliner. Next, we're going to fill in the centers. The first pigment I'm going in with is Star Dream, and picking that up with a dense packing brush. This is a JH41. I am just going to use this as the base for the rest of the glitters. I hate putting glitter on a clean eye. It does nothing for me. So always make sure to have a base that matches, which is why I'm going in with Star Dream. And then I'm going to take a liquid glitter eyeshadow. This is Flash and Dash Dazzle Glitter by MAC. And I'm using this as a chunky glitter alternative, but also as a lash glue, or a lid glue rather, for the glitter. Because the next glitter or pigment we're going in with is Copper Sparkle by MAC. And this is what gives the eye that copper effect. So you can see here it's quite a coppery gold eyeshadow. Again, picking it up with that JH41, I am going to push this into Flash and Dash. And this is what's going to create a little bit more of a metallic finish, but also keep that pigment glued onto the lid. So once you have done that, I'm just going to go back in with no additional product on that pencil brush and just blend out the edges of that copper pigment into the outer and inner corners again, just so that we don't have any harsh lines. I'm then going to remove the tape because we don't need them anymore, and you can see how clean those edges are. A little hack or a trick to make sure that your edges are nice and sharp. And then because black eyeshadow generally does have a lot of fallout, or even just a little bit of fallout, I'm just going to clean up underneath my eye, because if you mix it in with your foundation, it's going to give you a little bit of a black bag underneath your eye. I'm then just going to do a small wing and fill in my lash line at the top. I am using Brushstroke Black liquid liner, and I'm just going to pull this from inner corner to outer corner and create the tiniest little bit of a wing. You can go in with the pencil again if you want, but I feel like the liquid liner is a little bit more intense and a little bit more of a saturated black. I'm then going to prime my lashes with a lash primer. This is just going to thicken up my lashes and prep them for falsies later. I'm then going in with my Fenty mascara just to coat my lashes and make them black, obviously. I'm going to use a separate mascara for my bottom lashes later. And then of course we're going to apply our lashes. I'm using these Wispies by Ardell because I don't want the lashes to be too intense that you can't see the eye look, but I need lashes for this eye look. I'm then going to prime my skin with some Rose Glow primer and Tatcha Silk canvas to fill in the pores on my nose. and just to create a glowy base for my skin. I'm then mixing my foundation with this additive from MAC. I'm using True Skin by Catrice and then the Hyperreal Glow by MAC. This is just my foundation base. You can go in with whatever foundation you want. I do prefer a glowier foundation, so that's why I'm going in with these two, and this is what my skin looks like after you've added the additive. It has a slight coppery finish to it, which is why I like it for this look. And then after applying it with my brush, I'm just going to go in with a damp sponge and push everything in to make it a little bit more seamless. I'm using my MAC concealer just to highlight my inner corner and outer corner of my eyes, just to lift them a little. I'm in the shade NW24, and I'm just going to blend that out with the tip of my damp beauty sponge. This just gives a more natural finish as well, because I don't really need concealment. I just need a little bit of a lift underneath the eyes because this eye look is quite heavy. So I am just going to blend out my concealer, and that's the only places I'm going to highlight or conceal. I don't use the concealer anywhere else. I'm then using a L'Oreal translucent powder just to set my under eyes and smooth them out. Yes, I am applying it with a damp sponge. This sort of technique or hack just ensures that you are technically baking underneath your eyes, but it's actually just there to smooth out the under eye area. You can set your eye underneath with whatever you want, totally up to you. And then go back in with that liquid liner and line underneath my eyes. And then taking that pencil brush, I'm just going to blend or smudge out the outer corner of that liner. Then going in with my face highlighter, this is by Mika Beauty. I'm taking a JH42 and just highlighting my inner corner, and then taking that big fluffy brush and highlighting underneath my brow. It's a really nice golden, super shimmery metallic highlighter, so it's perfect for this look for today. So this is what my eyes look like, all finished. I also added that little extension in the inner corner with the liquid liner, and then I used Giga Black Lash for my bottom lashes. Don't forget to do your bottom lashes, otherwise you'll look pretty empty. I'm then taking my Fenty cream bronzer on a 164 brush, and I'm going to use this to contour my face. It is a little too ashy for this look, but it creates a nice shadow for contour. So I'm just going to contour my face in all the areas where I feel like I need contour, which is generally my cheeks, my forehead, and underneath my jawline. And then just to blend that out further and really press it into the skin, I am using my damp sponge to do that. You can of course contour where you need it. I am then going in with my Chanel Soleil Daytime bronzer on a 188 brush, and I'm going to use this not only to bronze up my skin, but just to warm up that contour the tiniest bit. It does create an eyeshadow, but it is just too fair for my skin tone at the moment, so it looks a little muddy. I am then going in with Hush cream color base as a base for my highlighter. It's a really metallic cream product, and I'm just pressing it into all the high planes on my face to prep them for my highlighting powder soon. I am going to add blush to my skin. This is Cantaloupe on a Smashbox buildable cheek brush. It's the perfect warm-ish coppery tone for blush, and then I'm also going to brush a little bit across my nose just for warmth. Going back in with that previous highlighter from Mika Beauty in the same brush, I'm going to push this highlighter in over Hush. This is just what's going to intensify that highlighter and make it a little bit more beaming and a little bit more intense on the skin. So just push it in over all the areas where you had that cream highlighter, and then going to take some Fix Plus and just set my face, and then press everything in with my beauty sponge. This is just going to melt everything together and make my face look more natural and seamless, I guess. Taking a spoolie brush, I'm just going to brush my eyebrows backwards. This will make sense in a minute, but I want to do a really fluffy brow. So I'm going to take my Shape and Shade brow tint, and I'm using the eyeshadow side to brush my eyebrows back. This is what's going to fill them with color. I'm then going to take the spoolie, brush my brows the right way, go back in with the felt tip pen side, and this is what I'm going to use to create microbladed brows or fluffy looking brows. I'm just using the tip to fill in all the gaps in my brows, and then taking my brow gel set, I'm going to brush my brows back again and then forward. Again, this is just what creates really fluffy, full looking brows, and this is what's going to set them in place for the day. So as you can see, my brows look super fluffy and super brushed up. and this is what I really like for beauty looks. Sue me, I know, this is just my preferred brow for any look. I'm then going to just prep my lips with some primer. I'm then going to line and fill my lips in with a lip pencil, apply my liquid lipstick, and then once that dries, I'm going to add a little bit of lip oil for like a bit of gloss, and then this is the finished look. It's very warm, very toasty, and very Christmas appropriate, I think. Thank you so much for watching today's tutorial. I hope you really enjoyed it. I hope you recreate this look for yourself. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Follow me on all social media. I have linked all my handles and links in my description box as well as in this video. I have also linked all my products in my video, but if you missed any of them or unsure of what I used, everything will be listed down in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching again, and I will see you in my next tutorial.
you.